the first item that we have is on the orphans management. So we have supported orphans management resurrection in the last couple of PIs, and we do have one more open item that's coming up in the next PI. To start with, we have delivered the additional capabilities on orphans management, prefixing and suffixing a value to the fields. So as on today, we have, when you go into the orphans and do an orphan settings, if a record gets orphaned and when you have to update a record, which is lost as pair, we actually have the options today to set a value. You can set a field with a value, or you can set any drop downs to that value. We also have an option to clear it. In the current PI in 3.7, we have introduced two additional capabilities, that is prefixing and suffixing. So if you have a text field, a string field, or an HTML field, you can prefix a value to the existing values that is there in this application, and you can also suffix it. So this will be an option that will be available on the UI, which we can go ahead and do it. Moving on, as you see here in this screenshot, along with the set clear, we have introduced two more that says prefix and suffix. As said, this will be applicable only for string and HTML or the RTF field. And if you're going to prefix a summary or a string field, in that case, you can add whatever text you want on which needs to be appended on the first section of a value. You can go ahead and do it. If it is string, we have given the it will concatenate with the existing value with a space at the end. So I'll show that how it looks into the demo. So that's on the string field. If it's an HTML field, it will be appended as a new line. If it's going to be a suffix, it will be a line. After a line, you'll get this new value. If it's a prefix, you'll have the prefixed value first, followed by the value of that is already present in the field. So as said, these are all, we do not support any other data type like numbers, decimals, drop down, dates, prefix and suffixes are not supported. And the behavior it is like, for example, like it's only the maximum number of characters that it can accept relies on the end application. So each application behaves differently. For example, in Rally, it only accepts 250 characters, right? So when you prefix it and your summary has a limitations of only 250 and you're trying to update more than 250 characters, then it will be a partial failure, just like how we have our sync flows. For a service now, the UI doesn't give you any errors when it is trying to set the character. So it will take the first 250 characters and it discards or truncates the remaining. So the character, what can go into the applications are solely depends on how the application treats basically. So we have kept the same behavior as that of a sync behavior on prefixing and suffixing also. So why this is important? Basically, it's easy to identify. There are a lot of, at least few of our customers who says that they only need orphaned records. They don't need to continue with the resurrections and stuff. So it's easy to identify. For example, certain fields they can prefix and say that, oh, these records have been orphaned, and they can just filter up everything together and go and delete it. So this was one of the customer requirement that we had for the prefix and suffix, and it will basically identify the orphaned record, which is not part of the integration anymore. Moving on, things to be aware of. As I said, this is like prefixing and suffixing can be only done for a string and a HTML string. It'll appear in as a single line field. And if it's a string, it'll have a space in between. If it is an HTML, it can come in the, you can have multiple lines. It adds a line next, above or below based on whether it is prefixed or suffixed. Let me go to the quick demo. Just let me know if you're able to see my screen. The EAP environment, ConnectALL environment. Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Right. Thank you. I do have an automation that's actually created for prefix and suffix. So let me just show how it looks like. So I have my automation between Rally and ServiceNow, and this applies to all the orphan supported applications that we have. When you get into the orphan strategy, so here we can go and set the values. So you have set clear along with the prefix and suffixed values. This is actually in HTML. If you see, you can have a multi-line option here. If it is going to be a string, uh, yeah, if it's going to be a string, it'll be a single line entry that you'll be able to add it. So this is how we do the setting, and prefix and suffix you can do to any HTML or any string field that is available on the on ServiceNow or on Rally. So let me quickly show how it looks like. Let me just go ahead and create a records in it's ServiceNow Rally. We create with some details. Name field, we add a couple of descriptions. And so if you see my field mapping, I've given a couple of field mappings here, and I really wanted to show how it looks like. So description is already mapped. In this case, I have the state mapped, and I have a string field called integration URL mapped to business case. So let me. So I'm going to orphans. I'm going to assumptions. Okay. I'm going to run my orphans. It's a 15 minutes interval. So it's created a record. And let me go into my service now. So the record is created here. So we can see all these records up over here. I'm going to make this orphan. Easy way of doing it is like just delete it off. And I'm going to run the orphans. Let me pick my service. It's orphaned. Let me go and refresh it here. I'm still running. Okay. So you can see the values are getting prefixed wherever I've set it as this. So you've seen this prefixed value here. There's another sections that I can quickly show that says close notes. So you can see the values are getting suffixed here. So wherever you want, whichever field it's near, you can go ahead and prefix and suffix this. So this is what we have done as part of prefixing and suffixing.